Hello Primes, Nathonis here, back with another video, talking about the greatest sacrifices. Now, this doesn't really cover one thing like Transformers or something. This actually covers multiple topics. I have 10 characters from roughly 8 different series, 7. Now, what I mean by sacrifice is not like Thor's abs in Endgame, okay? That's not a sacrifice. By sacrifice, I mean somebody willing to give up their life for the greater good. Again, could mean just about anything. Could be varied. Like, how do they sacrifice themselves? I don't know. Did I seriously forget to button that up? Sacrifice right there. Anyway, at number 10 we have Quicksilver, Age of Ultron. From the get-go, we kinda saw Quicksilver as an arrogant, snarky Russian child, as some would put it. Well, he was that, and he seemed to have quite the rivalry with Hawkeye. It was hilarious. We kinda didn't see this one coming. See what I did there? As Hawkeye was trying to protect a child from Ultron, Quicksilver decided it would be better if he tried to move the two out of the way. However, before he could do anything, he caught the bullets from Ultron's ship. And instead of Hawkeye and the Kid Gang blasted to pieces, Quicksilver did. And the last thing that he was able to say was their constant back and forth bickering line, "You didn't see that coming?" It made a lot of people sad in a movie that wasn't the best, but we gotta give it props for creating such an interesting character and then killing him off, like, right away. At number 9, we have Cole Phelps. You might be wondering, who's Cole Phelps? One of Rockstar Games' least known games, L.A. Noire, set in the 40s and, as evident by the name, L.A. Cole Phelps is a detective with the LAPD, and really not much to him. Eventually, him and a bunch of citizens are stuck in the sewer. They have to escape, but the sewer is flooding. He manages to get them all out, but really not enough time to get him out, and the last thing he can say is goodbye, and gets swept away. In GTA 5, there's actually some would think a reference to Cole and what happened to him. If you go to the mine shaft, blow up the entrance and go in, you'll find a body that looks roughly 40s-ish. Looks like it died in the 40s. The suit looks 40s-ish. It's not actually. It's a movie director named Isaac. But it's an interesting idea. And also, how would a body go from a sewer to a mine shaft? At number 8, we have Ratchet. I'm talking about Age of Extinction Ratchet. Again, a movie that didn't exactly do too well, but one thing it did really well is introduce our main villain, Lockdown. They really didn't waste any time with this character. So much so that the minute he's introduced, he kills off one of the longest running characters throughout the movies. Essentially, Ratchet and the other Autobots are being hunted by a secret government agency called Cemetery Wind. Optimus told the Autobots, cease all contact with humans. Simple as that, right? Not really, because before anybody could say anything, yeah, Ratchet got hunted down. The reason that they were hunting him down, in particular, is because he was so close to Prime. Lockdown's question to him, where is Optimus Prime? It's a simple question, But Ratchet refused to give him the answer, stating, "Never. He's not going to tell." Yes, it was a bit of a stupid move, but at the same time, in Optimus's state at the time of this happening, he was weak, he was wounded, he wouldn't be able to fight. Ratchet didn't know that, but he was keeping his leader safe. So really, it was an unbeknownst sacrifice. 7. John Marston. Well, you might consider his death to be not really a sacrifice, more of a "I'm fighting for my life" kind of thing. That's not true. In his last few moments, all he really had time to do was get his wife and son on a horse and get the horse out of there. He opens the barn doors, reaches for his gun, and manages to shoot a couple of the lawmen who turned against him, but then he gets gunned down, riddled with bullets. He didn't even have a chance at last words. The closest to it was a deep breath before he opens the doors. But to see a character that we've known for the entirety of the game just get blasted apart and really demoralized, it's kind of shocking. When I first played it, I knew it was going to happen, so it didn't come as a shock to me. But when I first saw it for the first time, it was like, excuse me, the main character of the game dies? Yeah, he does. And then you play as his annoying son. But really, John was just trying to protect his family. That's admirable. Everybody tries to protect their family, even the dog. Particularly the dog. 6. Starscream. Armada. Starscream in this universe has had it rough. Being treated like shit, but that's Starscream, you know? This Starscream is different from every other Starscream we've ever known. This Starscream is, shall we say, a little bit more sensitive. At one point, he even had contact with a human. He discovered what emotions are. Well, towards the end of the series, Unicron was coming. Yeah, obviously that's gonna mean death for everyone. All Optimus and Galvatron could do was fight amongst themselves. You know, why not? Starscream, injured mostly by having a sword jammed through his spark, had literally nothing to offer. But what he did was he stood in the path of Unicron's incoming blast, opened fire on Unicron, only for Unicron's blast to decimate him, and Starscream's blast to do absolutely nothing. They faded before they ever got to Unicron. But it showed Optimus and Galvatron that they can work together. It is possible. So Starscream actually did something good for once. For both sides. And number 5, we have Arthur Morgan. Oh boy, this one. Oof. This is a tough one. Well, 3 of his 4 deaths are a little bit selfish and kinda unceremonious. Good Honor and helping John really kinda show that he's vulnerable. And he tries to fight Micah. I prefer the rat, but that's me and everybody else. Obviously, his attempt is futile. He tries to reach for the gun, never reaches it. But then, the reason he doesn't get it is because Dutch. Yep, Dutch stands on his hand, and it's, why, Dutch? Why? Arthur pleads to him, says, I did everything for you, and this is how you treat me? I can understand where Arthur's coming from. I've experienced the exact same thing. He's speechless. After seeing what's been going on, he just walks away. And smart move on his part, but not for the first game. However, Micah's not too happy about this, so he just walks away. Arthur, in his last few moments, look at the sunrise as the tuberculosis kicks in and takes his life. How is his death a sacrifice? Without him, there would be no John Marston. I mean, really? You're gonna forget that? He sacrificed himself so that John could live with his family. Of course, it doesn't really turn out that way. Black Widow. One of the few scenes that actually made me cry in movies and games, alongside Arthur and another one that's coming up. Black Widow, a very underrated character in my opinion. I can't wait to see her movie. Well, it was kind of a fight for who's gonna die. I'm gonna die. No, I'm gonna die. Hawkeye and Black Widow. Who's going to die? Watching the movie, I was just like, oh, who's it gonna be? It shouldn't be Hawkeye because he's got a family. He's gotta get back to them. But Black Widow, it would complete her arc. And it did really well because it proved that she's beyond her past. She's done with the evil spy that she once was. She's now the hero of half the universe. So, she sacrificed herself for the Soul Stone, giving Hawkeye the stone, and leaving her dead. Kind of a shock, I know, but if you return the Soul Stone, there's no refunds. Number 3, Jazz. Movie. Another fairly underrated character who was killed off in the same movie he was introduced. This character is, without a doubt, one of the best characters in the entire Bay movies. Fight me if you disagree. Stupid cat. Anyway, Jazz really didn't have much in the movie. In fact, he was fairly underused. However, when it came down to it, the final battle, the humans had to escape because Megatron was right freaking there. So they had to get out of there. They had to get their wounded. They had to get injured. They had to escape. B, Ratchet, and Ironhide were busy fighting Brawl, while Optimus was off doing Primus knows what. So it was up to Jazz. So, he took every little bit of himself and tried to hold back Megatron. Not only did it work more than he was expecting, but it also cost him his life. He was expecting to push back Megatron, but instead, he distracted Megatron. So Megatron took him to the top of a building and pointed out that Jazz is a cretin, a moron. So, with one of the best lines in the entire series, "You want a piece of me? You want a piece?" Megatron just calmly, without a second thought, just like, "No, I want two," rips him in half. On Cybertron, a movie like that would be rated NC-17. Anyway, so his distraction worked a little bit too well, costing him his life. I kinda wanted to see him in another movie, but man, why do the black characters get killed off first? Damn you, Michael Bay! Number 2, Optimus Prime. Transformers Prime. We will always remember this show as one of the best, if not the best. Having a serious storyline that really just blows your mind. Like, I've never seen a better Transformers show. Again, fight me. Yes, G1 is close. It's a second for me, but Optimus in this series is stoic. He's kind of bland. He doesn't smile. The only emotion he seems to show is frustration and a little bit of anger, which is what Optimus should be. He should be stoic, because if he shows too much character, you get the same one as G1, and you want to go for something different. See, Michael Bay's not all bad, except for the killer part. Anyway, so Optimus kinda didn't have a choice. Cybertron was dead. Primus dead. The only way for Cybertronians to be able to return to their planet is if the Matrix is reunited with Primus. So Optimus, being the brave soul that he is, flies into the core of Primus with the Matrix of Leadership in his spark, and life returns to Cybertron, but Optimus is dead. Honestly, very fitting end for one of the best TV series. However, Robots in Disguise had to ruin it by bringing him back just like that. Just like, yeah, he can come back to whenever he wants, you know? No big deal. Why? I don't work at Hasbro, I can't tell you. And number one, if you didn't see this one coming, I don't know where you've been, but Iron Man. One of the greatest sacrifices in the MCU. One of the greatest sacrifices in movies. Comic book movies. Action movies. Movies in general. Iron Man sacrificed himself for half of the universe. Maybe more. Even though the stones were used to bring everyone back to life, Thanos and his army still proved too tough. The only way to kill them, all of them, was to snap them out of existence. It could have been Captain America as easily as it could have been Thor. Yes. Couple things. Captain America, his arc wasn't complete. They couldn't have done that. Thor, in his state, probably wouldn't have done the right thing. So it was up to Iron Man. Thanos had the stones. They were all screwed. Stark was right there. There was nothing he could do. So he goes up to Thanos, tries to steal the gauntlet from him, but Thanos knocks him away. I am inevitable. Nada. Stark. Stones appear on his knuckles, and I am Iron Man. And boom, Thanos is no more. Could Thanos return? Yes, very easily. Somebody just has to unsnap him, and boom. Or go back to a different time and bring him back. It's that easy. But, if it's that easy, same can be said for Stark. But if they did that, it'd be just like Robots in Disguise all over again. It would undermine the sacrifice, and yeah, they're gonna get some hate mail. So, which sacrifice from all that you've seen was the most saddest to you? Which one shocked you the most, and really which one caught you off guard? For me, the one that caught me off guard was Starscream. I never thought he could actually sacrifice himself. But as for everybody on this list, yeah, they can return. Most of them. Quicksilver can return, Ratchet, John, Starscream, obviously, Arthur, Black Widow, she's getting her own movie, Jazz, Optimus already was, and Iron Man. They can all return. Very easily, but yeah, it would undermine their sacrifices. So if you're going to bring them back, don't let it be in the same universe. Make it part of a different series, and really that's the only way I can think of it. So, I want to bid you all adieu, and I am Nathonus.